Hello everybody, this is Debolina Byabortta, Faculty, Department of English, Uluberia College, affiliated to the University of Calcutta. I am here to lecture to you today on Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay's only English novel, Rajmohan's Wife, that is there in the second semester syllabus of English Honours. This piece is included in CC3 under CBCS system. Today's lecture is going to be in three parts. The first part would look at the biographical context. The second part would look at the literary and historical context behind the production of Rajmohan's Wife. The third part would concentrate on the plot story or plot overview of the novel, including character and thematic analysis. Now, to begin with, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay is one of the most celebrated Bengali novelists and a pioneering essayist. He was born in Kathalpara near Noihati in the Orthodox Brahmin family on 26 June in the year 1838. In 1869, he completed his law degree whilst in the employ of the colonial government as a deputy magistrate and deputy collector. Despite his brilliant academic record and career accomplishments, he was not allowed to progress further in the English bureaucracy due probably to native background. He was married off when he was only a boy of 11. His first wife died in the year 1859. He remarried Rajlakshmi Devi of Hali's family, famous Chaudhary family in 1960. His literary career started in the late 1850s with the publication of a number of youthful compositions in the Sangbad Prabhakar and with his first book of poetry, namely Lolita o Manush. Serialization in 1964 of his English novel Rajmohan's Wife in the Indian field provided a mere hint of the talented author in the making. His first Bengali novel, Durgesh Nandini, written between 1862 to 64 and published in 1865, ushered in a new era in Indian literature. Severely criticized though by the conservatives, it was enormously popular as is evidenced by its 13 editions in 3 decades after its publication. The fountain of his creative genius started flowing freely after the birth of the Bongo Darshan magazine under his editorial supervision. He wrote in all 14 novels and a large number of essays, special treatises and monographs, subject matter of which varied from mundane matters of economics to serious analysis and evaluation of literature, arts, science, society, philosophy, religion, and the like. Among the creations of the author, mention may be made of the novels like, say, Durgesh Nandini that appeared in 1865, Anandamot in 1882, and Rajsingho 1893, and of course Krishnakanter Vel. His Vande Mataram, the greatest patriotic hymn that aroused the entire nation to fight for freedom, one which fortunately rather unfortunately fueled the Muslims' anger, which in turn caused Congress to drop it from its most favored position as the national song of Free India, is the single most important evidence of the author's ability to read and understand the great Indian people and its way of life. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay's death on April 4th in the year 1894, as he started a major project on the ancient Indian Vedic and Puranic literature, suddenly brought a sudden end to this brilliant literary star of Bengal. Now let us move towards the second part of this lecture, that is the literary and the historical context of behind the production of this Rajmohan's Wife. Rajmohan's Wife was first serialized in a short-lived weekly magazine published from Calcutta, but it did not appear as a book in the author's lifetime. It proves to be a significant piece of literature not only because of its author was the greatest Bengali novelist of the 19th century, but also because it speaks to an emergent genre in the literature of colonial modernity. This present novel has affinities with the domestic and social novel in the vernacular, inaugurated by Perichand Mitro's Alaler Gharer Dulal, that is the spoiled son of a rich family that appeared between 1855 to 57, and it anticipates some of the major developments of the novel as a genre. Though it may strike us today as a novel without a posterity, it serves as witness to these relations at a critical moment of genre formation and of the construction of the colonial subject, and it offers lessons to later novelists, including the author himself. Now, the extent to which writing in the modern Indian languages was being transformed by contact with the West was a source of deep cultural anxieties as well as new modes of literary self-representation in the 19th century. New vernacular literatures attempted to acclimatize Enlightenment ideas within native literary idioms, while rather Western genres had to accommodate with desires, aspirations and experiences of the native bourgeoisie. Bankim's own writing, decisively shaped by progressive Western thinkers such as Jeremy Bentham, John Stuart Mill and Auguste Comte, reflect the critical tensions that developed after the revolt of 1857, that is the Sepoy Mutiny, between Western literal thought, repressive government, religious and social reform, and traditionalist reaction and introspection. The rebellion of 1857 did not end up well and brought about the end of the Mughal reign in India. And then Queen Victoria became the Empress of our country in the year 1876. But long before the Queen's succession, even as early as 1813, English education was being promoted by the British. And by the time of Bankim Chandra, English became or remained a popular medium of education and communication for the young and rather say aspiring Indians. Parallelly, in the context of British literature, as it was the time of Victorian period, we have the literary pieces like say Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Oliver Twist or David Copperfield, or say The Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, that formed in a way an otherwise cultural mapping of the author himself. Now, after the rebellion of 1857, British rule in India was a reality, and gradually they were trying to compose a class who would be Indians in blood and color, but European by culture and language, whom they would use as a medium to perpetuate and exact power over the Indians. This eventually gave birth to a class of English educated people basically working for the British government and their policies. Outwardly, they supported the utilitarian value system, but many of them inwardly could not leave their legacy of Indian culture. By that time, most of the Indian zamindars were aligned with the East Indian Company. India was, during this particular period of time, facing the oppressive practices like sati, child marriage, oppression of women, no education for women was available, polygamous practices that was only available for men. However oppressive the British were against these ill practices, and with that changing air to the modern perspective, the elites thought that English education is good for building a good human character, and vernacular education system would only create ill-hearted men who are bad people in character and nature-wise. This is precisely in this context Rajmohan's wife really comes with some historical and say literary significance as well. Now let us move on towards the third part of this lecture, that is the plot overview and the thematic and character analysis of the novel. Now Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay's Rajmohan's wife was written for a cosmopolitan Indian audience who favored the colonial language and their culture. To begin with, the location of Bankim Chandra's fictional reconstruct is rural Bengal, a place called Radhaganj. The main characters of the novel are Matangini, who is Rajmohan's wife, Rajmohan himself, Madhav Ghosh, who is the husband of Matangini's sister Hemangini, Mathur Ghosh, who is Madhav's cousin, the dacoit Sardar, and his assistant Bhiku. Now, the novel begins with introducing Matangini's character, adhering to all notions of a good Hindu wife. She is hard-working, docile, introvert, duty-bound, brave, unadventurous, full of self-esteem, and is very casual about the beauty that she carries with herself or her persona. We get to see Mathur, who is being lured by her beauty, when he gets to see her veil slowly raised by the wind on her way back home drawing water. Madhav Ghosh, that is Hemangini's husband and Matangini's brother-in-law, scolds Mathur for this kind of attitude. From this, we, the readers, our attention is drawn to 3 points. First is Matangini has been judged or represented as a quote-unquote good woman. Mathur, that is the second point, a rural stereotype who is passing judgmental comments. The third one is Madhav Ghosh, who is truly a Shikhita Bhadralok and not a so-called one, and is a man of good conduct. Now we come to Rajmohan. Rajmohan, on the other hand, has been introduced as an ill-hearted native who abuses his wife both physically and mentally and verbally. Therefore, Matangini, with all her goodness of character and individualistic traits, has to spend her whole life with such a villainous man named Rajmohan. And she has to live only as Rajmohan's wife and not as Matangini, as the title of the novel goes or suggests. Rajmohan and Matangini have come to Radhaganj at the mercy of Madhav Ghosh. Madhav Ghosh has acquired, on the other hand, a lot of fortune from his childless uncle, which changed the fortune of his lot. While Rajmohan is unemployed, Matangini now requests Hemangini to request her husband to arrange some sort of employment for Rajmohan. And then Madhav calls him to look after his newly made fortune in Radhaganj. Now here it is important to note that Madhav Ghosh is an English educated person. On the other hand, Rajmohan and Mathur Ghosh are educated in the vernacular. However, After coming to Radhaganj, soon enough Rajmohan, the benefited, agrees with the dacoit Sardar to steal Madhav, the benefactor's fortune, along with the will of his inheritance. Incidentally, Matangini overhears Rajmohan's words while planning with the dacoits for the loot. And overcoming the traits of a good domesticated Hindu wife, she decides to go to Madhav Ghosh at midnight to inform him about the impending danger. Matangini had to be tremendously brave, and she had to apply her intelligence enough to reach Madhav's lodging in the darkness of the night. And there she explains everything except the fact that Rajmohan is also there with the gang of the dacoits. Madhav's fortune now here thus is saved, as he feels grateful to Matangini, and the danger now is over. Then Matangini for the first time expresses her love to Madhav Ghosh. This proves to be a very crucial moment, an act of transgression committed by a woman of good conduct. Here, the novelist portrays the conflict between passion versus duty very intelligently. However, while returning from Madhav's house, Matangini faces violent storm and remains drenched in rain, indicating the hurdles she is to face further on. At home, Rajmohan comes to know about the fact that Matangini has exposed his intrigue, and also the fact that she loves Madhav. Out of jealousy and frustration, she tries to kill Matangini. Just at that moment, the dacoit Sardar attacks Rajmohan, taking that Rajmohan has exposed the whole plan to Madhav. But Rajmohan explains the fact is saved for the moment. But Matangini is found nowhere amidst the malevolent play of nature. The next morning, Matangini is found near the pond with her friend Konok, discussing the events of the previous night. It is certain now neither she can be back to Rajmohan nor can she go to Madhav. At this point, Shukhi's mother, a maid servant at Mathur Ghosh, comes and takes Matangini to Tara, that is Mathur Ghosh's elder wife and a good, compassionate woman. Matangini is provided here with shelter in spite of the denial of Champak, his jealous and selfish second wife. But after some time, Rajmohan comes to know about Matangini is staying at Mathur's house, and he comes to take Matangini back, and Mathur has to release her. While returning, Rajmohan sends Matangini with Suki's mother home and himself goes to meet the dacoits regarding the plan of stealing the will from Madhav Ghosh. But after returning, he finds Matangini has not returned yet and is still nowhere found. So Matangini is lost for the second time. Now, the truth is, Mathur Ghosh has asked Suki's mother to abduct Matangini and to keep her in the deserted godown for enjoying sexual pleasure with her. However, Matangini does not comply with Mathur while she comes to get intimate with her. Mathur attempts to captivate her and decides not to provide her with water or food. In the meantime, Madhav Ghosh is abducted by the dacoit Sardar and his assistant Bhikhu so that he can hand over the will. Madhav is also to be kept in the warehouse as Matangini, but doesn't know about her abduction. While the negotiation between the Sardar and Madhav Ghosh was ongoing, they listened to the screaming of a woman from the warehouse itself. They start now looking for the source of the sound. they find a woman with a dim lantern in her hand, producing an eerie effect with light and shade. As none of them know about anything happened at the storehouse, they here thought this has to be a ghost and get frightened. Now Sardar and Biko run away. Madhav is provided with the courage and he finds this figure to be Tara, that is Mathur's elder wife. Later they find Matangini and rescues her. Tara here came to the understanding that something is happening in their go down because Mathur appeared to her during this period of time very restless and suffering from anxiety. In the end, what we find is Bhikkhu is arrested by the police. He exposes the names of Rajmohan, Sardar and Mathur Ghosh and tells about their intrigue to rob Madhav Ghosh and the details of many other robberies. Out of fear, anxiety and nervousness, Mathur Ghosh commits suicide. Rajmohan and Bhikkhu get penal transportation and the Sardar is apprehended. Now Matangini goes to her father's place and dies soon. And the author doesn't tell us about what happens to Madhav and Hemangini.